On this date, exactly 80 years ago, India celebrated Independence Day, throwing off 200 years of British rule. But tucked away in the misty, lush hills in the northeast, it was eerily quiet. Because while the nation celebrated jubilantly, Mizoram, or the Lushai Hills, as it was still called back then, was a region stuck in limbo. See, in that fateful month of August 1947, the British didn't hand power over to one government, but three: India, Pakistan, and Burma. And that decision alone changed the geopolitical face of a whole mountain range overnight. In the Lushai Hills, the handover was far from finished. For decades, this place had been run by one single British superintendent at a time, working alongside local chiefs, and you get colonial rule that just kept quietly going. That's why we have some photos in the late 1940s, even early 1950s, that still look like the colonial era pictures of the turn of the century. But politically, things were still messy. Earlier that year, in April, the first Mizo political party ever, the Mizo Union, had formed, and its whole platform was based on scrapping the old chief system. However, just weeks before India's independence, the Mizo Union party split. The chiefs who didn't want to lose power broke off, formed a rival group, and talks of joining Burma were seriously pursued. On August 14th, one day before India's independence, the British superintendent L.L. Peters called an urgent meeting of Mizo chiefs and leaders to answer one question: was it even possible for these hills to leave India? Legally, the answer was no, so someone floated the idea of a 10-year referendum, but to little avail. So it is against the backdrop of these fractured groups and even more fractured discussions that August 15th came and went, but in Aizawl, nobody hoisted the flag, either out of fear or defiance or both. Then things get even stranger. Days after independence, the hills to the west of the Lushai Hills, the Chittagong Hill Tracts, are handed over to Pakistan. Overnight, that becomes an international border. Months later, Burma became independent too. Another international border. And because Manipur and part of Tripura were at this point in history still considered independent kingdoms, the beautiful hill range of the Lushai Hills, which had long been left alone by external influences for centuries, becomes suddenly boxed in by 5 foreign entities at once: India, West Pakistan, Burma, Manipur, and Tripura. However, it didn't stay that way. Manipur and Tripura officially joined India in 1949, and East Pakistan became Bangladesh in 1971. A few months later, the youth group called the Young Lushai Association renames itself the Young Mizo Association and stays out of politics completely. It will eventually outlast all the political institutions of that time and is still a thriving organization in Mizoram today. But the land was still far from settled. In 1954, local chieftainship was abolished for good. More parties rose and fell until the Malsawmdawngliana famine of 59 launched a fury among the people that would lead to the rise of the Mizo National Front. In 1966, they declared independence outright. India's response was to send Air Force jets over the city of Aizawl. This was and remains to this day the only time the Indian government ordered the bombing of its own people. This painful series of events dragged out into 20 years of political turmoil for the Mizo people. In 1984, the political MNF leader Lallenga was all set to finally sit down with Prime Minister Indira Gandhi to discuss a way forward. The meeting was scheduled for the afternoon of October 31st. She was assassinated that morning. Talks resumed with her son, Rajiv Gandhi, and in 1986, the historic Mizoram Peace Accord was finally signed. Mizoram had gone from free-range hills to colonized Lushai Hills to the Mizo Hills District to Union Territory until finally, in February 1987, it achieved statehood as the 23rd state of India, and Lallenga became its newly elected chief minister. Today, Mizoram is one of the top most literate states in the country, with tourism and enterprise exploding exponentially year by year. Today, we celebrate India's 80th year of independence, but we share Mizoram's side of the story to remind us all that partition looked very different for not just Mizoram, but many other corners of the country, and that Mizoram, a region that once couldn't even agree on which nation to belong to, is now one of India's quietest, steadiest success stories.